Hello, my name is Seth Allis. I'm a business student at Western Colorado, and today I'm going to be doing a training video on a resource that Western Colorado promotes called StandOut. It's an interview practice program, and I think it's an awesome program because it gets students in the mind of interviews. It creates stories in your head. Interviews are really important. You could be going for a job and you could be battling against someone. They might have more qualifications than you, might have more degrees than you. But if you nail that interview, you probably will get the job. A lot of mentors have told me that interviews are super important. So you can always get practice in, always get better at them because you may not have the qualifications for a job, but if you nail it, you might get nail the interview, you might get the job. And it's pretty awesome that you could pull this talent kind of from yourself and use it as an advantage. So uh, let's get started. I'll show you how it works. All right. So here we are at the home page for StandOut. And one of the first things you want to do is upload your resume. Why not? It's something you can put in there and have right up top. You have advisors, mentors, and you can have advisors possibly review your resume or give you some tips or feedback. Another thing you want to do is upload an intro video. And this is just a way to introduce yourself. One of the main questions you'll probably get in an interview is tell me about yourself. So this is a good practice one to do right away once you get started with StandOut and kind of get this one out there and practice. So I'll show you give a little example of what I did.
Hello, my name is Seth Allis. I'm a student athlete at Western Colorado. I play football at the university. My passion is business and finance. I love working together with teams, collaborating and trying to solve problems, brainstorming and figuring out new ideas, creating new ideas. I love strategy in business as well. One of my favorite things to do when I walk into a local store is I try to figure out who their managers are, check out their inventory, and just try to get a general idea of how they're making profit. I think strategy is pretty important in business and very interesting.
Yeah. So it also says kind of it translates everything you just said, and you could erase, re-record. I made one that was like 2 minutes long, so I had to delete that one. So up top we have home, practice, jobs, advisors, mentors, and frequently asked questions. Now the only thing is frequently asked questions, mentors, and jobs are not completely updated on this website or resource. Advisors is in there, and advisors is whether we got Craig Beebe in here. He's works at the Career Center at Western Colorado, and advisors could be anybody from a professor, anyone that works at the school, mentor, and you can have them give you feedback on your interview questions. You can share them your recordings, and they can give you feedback. So one of the first things you do is you go to the home page, and what you're mainly going to be working on is this create your own practice. Click right here. So what you do is click your own practice, and it has the difficulty of questions, easy, moderate, challenging, and it has criteria. And it's not only just business. It has accounting or art, chemistry, computer science, dental hygiene, goals. You can click so many criteria. And if one of your criteria is not in there, you could tell a professor or any mentor to give you a more specific question and they could upload it. And they can upload it here on this practice tab. The practice tab has all of the uploaded interview questions from Craig Beebe, an advisor, or this is a capstone, this is probably a professor. And we have Louise Downey right here, and she put in some interview questions. And so these are like if a professor has an assignment for that he wants you to do, like practice these questions, and he can upload them on here, and it can be an assignment for your class where you put in some questions for whatever, and they can give you feedback. And so there's a lot in here. I mean, there's art, anthropology. So this is where you'd go if you wanted someone to upload a more specific questions for you, or this is where you'd go if a professor has questions for you to try and answer specific questions for your class, this is where you go. And this is where you click one. So let's go back to the home page, and create your own practice is what you're mainly going to click. I'll just give a little rundown practice one for you. Do moderate, general business, max number of questions. I'm not going to do 10 questions, I'm going to do 2. All right, so once you click it, you get the question, and it's awesome because you get the question, you get to think about it before you answer it. Because right when you press play and he starts talking and asks you the question, and he's done asking you the question, it's going to start recording. Just like a real interview. When they're done asking the question, you got to answer it. So you can't have this pause, think about it. So it's nice that you could look at or read the question before you go ahead and start. And I mean, what interviews are are really hard, but they're great. And what this program, StandOut, can really help you with is creating stories in your head. Because with interviews, you're going to have lots of examples for any of the questions. That's what they want to hear. It needs some type of example for any of the questions. So I'll just get started and do this first one. Your department is working on an important project. During the course of it, you recognize a potential problem with implementation. What do you do? Okay.
Your department is working on an important project. During the course of it, you recognize a potential problem with this implementation. What do you do?
If my department is working on an important project and we recognize a potential problem, the first thing I would do would be going to my team leads or anyone underneath me, just directly right underneath me, and I would get some opinions from them about the problem, address the problem right away, and I would have them come up, brainstorm, we'd get together, brainstorm about some ideas, what to work on, and then I would also ask more workers at my job, anyone, go just to walk around the office and ask anybody for some ideas, brainstorm, because I think everybody at a workplace should be involved. For all contributing, might as well have everyone have an opinion, and it's not just the main boss that helps makes the decision. I think everyone should be involved. So that was my answer to the question. Let's give it a little pause, because I think you guys should maybe think about what I did right or wrong. A little reflection, what I do right, what I do wrong. I feel like I definitely know some things I did right or wrong. Let's go to the next one. How do you handle stress? Give me an example of a stressful situation and how you resolve it. Also, I also forgot to include that there's this little bar right here that says your volume level, which is kind of nice. So let's do this question.
How do you handle stress? Give me an example of a stressful situation and how you resolved it.
I feel like I handle stress fairly well. With me, I try to embrace stress, because if I overthink it and don't embrace it, it's going to be a lot more brutal for me and it's going to overpower me. So I try to embrace stress, embrace the complications. But one of the stressful situation I could think of was with my football team. Wasn't at a workplace, but just recently we had some guys on our defense yelling at each other about some things, and I played D-line, and one of the D linemen called another guy that was yelling at him racist, and I thought that was a strong thing to say. And I told my D lineman that, or one of my homie friends, that I got your back, and we'll try to resolve this right away, because we can't have this feud on our defense. So I went up to our D coordinator, our defensive coach, and told him we need to have a meeting after practice and discuss this and get this problem addressed right away, so we don't have to deal with it for the rest of the season. And there was a lot of yelling during that practice, and everyone was mad, and it was a very negative practice. So I'm glad I told the coach that we should have a meeting. And I was stressed. I mean, everyone was stressed on the defense. So after practice, the coach addressed it, talked about it, and I felt like it was good that he addressed it, and good that I said something, because now I don't think we're dealing with it anymore. It's over. So I'm glad I got the problem and addressed the problem, so everyone be involved too, and everyone had a little say as well. So It was stressful, but I thought I handled it fairly well. That was my responses. It was all right. Give another little time for you guys to reflect on how I did. And be honest, don't be nice. Yeah. All right. So, whatever you guys said, feedback from my response. Let's see what StandOut says. Let's see if you're right. So here is my 2 questions. Oh yeah, by the way, once you click the how many questions you want, if you click 10 questions, you have to do all of the questions before you can get a review from StandOut. So that's why I did 2, so I don't have to do all of them. But yeah. So here's the first question in my response.
If my department is working on an important project and you recognize a potential problem.
So it's really cool because it says translates all the words you said. And right away I notice I can't pronunciate well, if a modern farm is working. So I think what did I say?
If my department is working on
my department, yeah. So pronunciating is something I really need to work on. That's something I thought of right away when I finished that response. And I also felt like I just wasn't flowing very well. Let's see if I said like a lot, because that's something. Oh, hesitation. See, it also says hesitations, pauses, anything like that. I guess I didn't say like that much. Said a lot of does, but yeah. So now StandOut was calculating a score. Come on.
I feel like I handle stress fairly well. With me, I try to embrace.
Got some loading issues. All right. So this says overall comprehension score. So I'm guessing this means like if you repeated the question, if you just said right off the bat and gave an example, you might have a lower comprehension score because you need to include, kind of restate the question in your response. It also says hesitations, 2.5 average hesitations. It's all right, I think. And then average words per minute, that's kind of just how fast you're talking. Sometimes I have a problem with that. I'll talk too fast. So here's the whole entire response translated. And these green and yellows, the green is how clear your words are. Yellow, 54%, almost clear. Farm, that's the word I said if my department is working. So these words are all messed up. Totally need to work on pronunciating. Can't even say that word. But yeah, so it's really cool. I mean, if some of you said, oh, I couldn't really understand what he said, and then you're right. Or if he said, hesitated, 2.5 hesitations, that's not bad. I don't have that many. Let's go to the next one. Hang on, stress, give an example of stress. Comprehension score, a little lower than the last one. Higher, more hesitations, and I talked faster in this one compared to this one. So yeah, it's pretty cool. A little red, embrace. What did I say? I feel like I handle stress fairly well. Okay. And then you also can add a comment, and this is where you'd share to any of your advisors, mentors that you want to get some feedback. Now, I wouldn't share this one because I think I could have came up with a better story, better response. So I would have done these maybe once or twice more and retried them, then shared my best copy of it to somebody. But yeah, so that is where that is StandOut. And then right here, activity, this shows all of the practice that you've done. So these started ones are ones that I clicked maybe 4 to 6 questions and I only did 1. So this activity bar is saying like, oh, finish this one. And then here's the one I just did, practice completed. And so yeah, this is all the activity, done quite a bit. And I think that's pretty much it with StandOut. It's not that difficult of a program, and give it a shot.